Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy D Wayne bringing you yet another YouTube video at the time. So basically we got a new archetype coming out of the Burst of Destiny, another water archetype, and you know guys how I am about my waters. I love them. So this is the Ice Jade archetype. So it's looking like you got some ice waifus here. So I know you guys who love you some waifu archetypes, you're gonna love this. So yeah, so they're water, of course. So when you think of water, you think of mermaids right off the back, of course, and how a standard water deck's synergy with mermaids is to be, just to kind of determine how good the water deck is. So yeah, so this is Ice Jade, interesting archetype. So let's go ahead and get into them. All right, so the first Ice Jade monster is Act 3 of the Ice Jade. Weird name. It is a level 4 water Aqua effect monster. 1000 attack and defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. First effect reads, if this card is normal or special summon, you can send one water monster from your hand to the graveyard to draw one card. Second effect reads, if a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect and this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, special summon one Ice Jade monster from your hand or graveyard, except another copy of Active. So yeah, I've already read these effects, so the second effect will be, standard amongst the monsters that are there, so I'll only read it all this one time. So let's talk about its first effect. Normal or special summoned. Send one water monster from your hand to the graveyard to draw one card. So, obvious synergy with mermaids is obvious. You send an Atlantean to the graveyard to trigger its effect while getting a draw and then triggering the said Atlantean's effect to do whatever it is you want to do. So, say for instance, you have a Dragoon set up in a graveyard and you use this effect to discard a Neptibus. Neptibus will activate special summoning the Dragoons from the graveyard. You have 2 level 4s on the field to go into your Bahamut Shark and treat soul play. So it's the same type of synergy with all the other Atlanteans to get their desired effects to go off. So this card is definitely be a staple in an Atlantean deck. I say 2 to 3 of copies because of its utility and synergy with the Mermaid deck. Alright, so next card is Tinola of the Ice Jade. This is also a level 4 Aqua with 1000 attack and defense. First effect, it's a unique effect. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Then, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Then target one water monster in your graveyard. Send this card from the field to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this target. So if this is a cost, I believe the first part of the effect is a cost. So it will also trigger off the Atlantean's effect. Then target one water monster in your graveyard. Send this card from your hand from the field to the graveyard to special summon this target. So it's sending a card from your hand and sending this card from the field to targeted water and special summon it. So it doesn't say except this card. So I'm assuming you can summon this card off its own effect, which would be interesting. Because this looks like this effect is happening simultaneously, so you should be able to special summon itself back via its own effect. I'm not sure. I would definitely have to look at the ruling and do some testing on that. But otherwise, it's definitely another solid card as it triggers off the Atlantean's effects. Alright, so next card is a level 5 monster this time. This one is Water Aqua with 1500 attack and defense. First effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon one water monster from your hand. So it works in conjunction to the way most effects work, when you can send one water monster send a monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a card that you're trying to summon. This one works differently. This one sends itself to the graveyard to special summon another water monster from your hand. So actually it can be another copy of itself if you happen to have 2 of this in your hand. So yeah, so pretty decent. Another utility card. These are all utility cards for the most part. They don't really serve any big purpose aside of, combo pieces and triggering off Atlantean's effect. So that's the gist of it so far. We don't know the rest of the support, and you know how it goes. We'll start to see how the deck shapes as we get more support. Alright, so lastly, we have a spell card for them. So this is Ice Jade Cradle, normal spell. Add one card from your deck to your hand. One Jade monster from with a different name from cards you control or in your graveyard. So this card would be good if you just get rid of this. Just get rid of this. That's all you need. Just this effect right here, and make it a once per turn clause. That's all you need to make this card an absolutely perfect card. But different names from cards you control or in your graveyard, I kind of don't see the purpose there, unless the other support turns out to be absolutely broken, and this search card will search into broken cards, and I don't really see the purpose of this restriction. Alright, so initial thoughts on this. I think it's pretty solid. You can already see its implications with Mermail decks, of course. And we'll see. We don't have a summoning method for them, so we don't know what extra deck that this deck will be using. So we'll find that out as we get more support for them. So it's pretty decent so far. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this deck has to offer. Alright, so those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll get back with you on that. Alright, so I will leave that at that. So I'll be bringing you guys more videos in the meantime. But until then, pieces. YouTube.